Ay, sabi niya dapat binili ko.
Hoy, kailan
Binili
ka
ako.
uwi nga pala dito, Jazz? Pukin na ina mo.
I think next, this
Yan na naman siya.
coming, kasi, di Diyos ko, passport renewal ng Friday. Pagkatapos ng shift, diretsong miga. Tapos, Juwi na. Kasi may padala galing Yais. Meron daw akong lotion. Tinalang kape.
Lotion,
Ay,
pampadulas daw, friend.
yung pampadulas ng mother, wala namang idudulas. Yun lang.
I never know, you know.
Sa bagay. Uy, nag-download ako ulit ng Grindr. Wala lang, parang na-bored ako. Tapos, meron agad nearby. Ayun.
Nakarat ka.
Hindi, agad. Uninstall. Natakot ako.
Kipot mo dun, friend. In all fairness, ang kipot mo dun sa part-time.
Siyempre, parang hindi na ako, nakalagay na picture doon, Freshness of Downy. Ngayon, isang banlaw.
This is a Cup of Coffee Podcast.
Anyways, welcome to the podcast. I have, of course, my coffee buddies. We are celebrating our anniversary. It's a year of coffee all throughout, and it has been a very long journey of discovery and how we're actually gonna navigate through this podcast. I have my coffee buddies here with me. I have Jazz, who joined us. When did you start joining?
January, I think. Yeah, January.
With ganon. For category is family. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, introduce yourself again, Jazz.
Spotty ka, Pom Jazz. Ganon.
Tenshiko started with us for
Idol.
Yes, for the love of Idol.
Hi.
Literally, magkasunod kayo.
Goddess yan.
Mm-mm.
Yes, kasi what happened was, after episode ng Idol, after ng, tama ba?
Family muna.
Oo nga, nauna yung family muna pala, tapos yung For the Love na series.
Ayun.
For February. Oh.
That's true.
January, February nga, tama.
Yeah.
A lot and it's been a long time. It's like, well, for you guys, it's been like what, 6, 7 months, 9 months now?
Mm.
Yeah.
But for me, it's totally a year of
That's true.
of ever changing co-hosts.
Yan.
Kasi diba, like, I mean, later, by the way, later on, we will be joined by a lot of people that has contributed into our, my journey in the podcast world. One of which, of course, is Direct Nick, which, of course, is my mentor when it comes to being, a podcaster. And it's gonna be like a double episode.
Penetration.
Penetration. Double episode kasi Liz, who used to be a part of the Paranormal Podcast, who created her own podcast, Swipe Podcast.
Yeah.
Itutulog siya sa himpilan ng mga kabaklaan paranormal.
Okay.
You guys can expect them to be a part of that. Right now, the podcast is in the precipice of changing. Kasi it's been, well, anyways, life is constantly changing.
Yes.
And we are now available in full-time in YouTube as well. Yes. Nag-upload din ako ng mga
previous I saw that.
Yeah, previous episodes. So most of the season 3, which is right now, it releases the exact time with our podcast partners, which is Spotify, Anchor, and as well in podcast. Yeah. So sabay-sabay sila. But the From the Archives episode, which is like episode season 1 and or 2, happens every Sunday 10 p.m. So medyo nagbabago na talaga. We are literally growing. Now, on this short episode, because it is an anniversary episode, the three of us can talk about the growth that we had, not just here in the podcast, but more in real life, and as well, growth in general. So, let's start off with Just, lumaki ka na ba?
Hulo, yun lo.
Para personal attack, no?
Bakit ka ganyan?
Ano? Growth. Personal. I think naman, mother, you witness yung growth. Kasi, alam na, mga pinagdaanan na super petty things, mga ang babaw ko lang kasi before. And walang goal. Work lang, gastos, work, gastos. And then,
Work ka.
yes, be.
Hala siya.
Ipinapasok ko pa lang, ubus ko na siya.
Alin?
Yung sasahurin.
Okay.
Oo.
At least now, may mga konting investments na, gano'n.
Good.
Tsaka hindi na ako masyado nag-relate kay mother.
Ay,
Kaya kami dati, buy one, take one. Kung nasa ang mother, kailangan nandun ako. Kasi
Kung
kahit pagtawid, hindi ko magawa.
ay, Diyos ko Lord. Ano ka, puta?
Ganun.
Hindi naman, o ikaw na sa pag-ibig. Kumbaga parang ako kasi, when it comes to Jazz, I'm always worried kasi si Jazz kasi, in real life, sobrang mabait yan kasi. And a lot of our so-called friends would take advantage of that kindness. Si Jazz kasi yung tipo ng tao that drop everything
For
a
you.
friend. For a friend.
Ah.
Kahit na sino. Not just me. He drops everything for a friend. So, yun yung kinatatakot ko that, and this had happened a couple of times already, that he dropped a very good career to help a friend. Tapos nagpaka-waiter lang siya sa isang karinderya.
Ayun nga yung nakwento nyo, bigla siyang nandun.
Oo.
Mm.
So, yun ang kinatatakot ko lang because people do tend to take advantage of Jazz, and that's the reason why I'm very protective of, of how people would take advantage of him. I mean,
Understandable.
Sex slave, be.
Hello. Bakit may ganon?
Oo, be. Ganun ang career. Sabi ko, mas malaki kita ko dati sa live jazz. Charot.
Oh my God. Sana mag-ano ka na lang. OnlyFans, ganon.
Ay, oo nga. Nababalitaan ko yan.
Hindi naman monetize ang OnlyFans dito. Just for
Ay,
fun.
hindi.
Oo, just
Ay,
for fun.
nakwenta.
Not that I haven't tried.
Telegram, ang banat nila is subscription.
Eh?
Oh.
Mhm.
Ba't alam mo?
Nag-subscribe ako sa isa. Bakla.
Meron, nga pala, may bago na naman akong TikTokeres na nag-message sa akin.
Bakit?
Pero all of a sudden, bigla siyang nawala. Nag-aalok ng sex video.
Bakit
Ah.
kasi?
Yung mga the hybrid pantuition lang. Ganon.
Oo, yung mga ganyan. Okay. Pero after naman, binlock ako.
Eh?
Oo.
Oo.
Ang weird naman itong taon ko. Parang, bakit ka mag-aalok pagkatapos biglang mawawala?
Ayun.
Welcome to the podcast. We have JP. Hi, JP. Ang kipot mo doon sa dahil wala kang microphone.
Sorry.
Kala ko sabihin ko pagalawin yung baso. Ayun, okay na.
Sorry.
Hi!
Bakla, wag mga ganyan joke, B.
Wag naman.
Kasi ako lang ang walang gift.
Okay lang yan.
Mamaya pa naman yung part. Mamaya pa ang part yun. Kumalma ka lang. Plus darating naman si ganon. Plus darating naman si Direk. So, si Direk naman isa pa ding walang kakwenta-kwenta.
Grabe siya.
Duwag yun.
Ano naman siya? Starseed naman siya. Kaya mo na.
Speaking of, oh my God, speaking of porn and paranormal.
Paranormal porn? What? Ano? Astral sex?
Ang layo na naman sa growth nito. Pero speaking of growth, so meron isang paranormal investigator din na ano tawag dito, so para may guesting nga siya before sa mga television talk show, ganyan. Nag-delve na din siya into porn.
Ay, wait, yun ba yung may glasses na yung dating ata siya?
Ay, hindi, American to. Teka lang, sino sinasabi mo?
Sino yan?
Kasi meron
Oh
from
my God.
glasses na pumunta into indie film. Pero yung mga roles niya is more on the indie na medyo bordering on
Ganon.
porn,
Oh.
soft porn.
I don't know anymore.
Si Gav Billion, si Gav ba yung nag-produce niya? Ano nga ba pangalan nun? Si G.A. Villafuerte, ang producer nun malamang. Ay, parang tanda ko na kung sino yung dating, yung naka parang
Matangkad na.
black na
Oo.
frame na glass. Ay,
Oo.
oo. Tagal na, no?
Okay. Established na pala na gano'n.
Oo, may growth naman yun. May grower, may mga ano. Charot.
Anyway, while we're waiting for everyone else, let's go back. Teshiko, ikaw, so we, like what we've talked about, medyo we're talking about, personal growth and stuff like that. Or growth in general. When I say growth, what do you think of?
My many pounds of fat.
Bakit naman yun of all? Hindi kasi, in all fairness, before kasi, Teshiko, when I met you, you've
Galing ko.
always been tall.
Yeah.
But you still have a very voluptuous body.
Okay.
Pero ngayon kasi hindi na kasi gano'n, no? Just
That's
being
true.
honest. Just being honest.
Papunta na rin sa BBW.
Grabe siya sa BBW.
Bakit ganun? Gross. Tapos ganun. Pero yun, lumabad ako eh. Ewan ko ba? Kasalanan ng COVID siguro. Nasa bahay lang.
Isisi natin doon. Pero hindi, I mean, because your back is bad.
Yeah.
So that's
why I'm trying to walk around the neighborhood since we moved.
Oo, safer yung neighborhood dyan.
Yes.
Unlike yung...
Ang hirap makapasok ng mga nilala bilang...
Security gate ba kayo?
Oo.
Ay, ang taray, pamayaman.
Hindi kasi paano ba? Government people are all over here. So, hindi talaga pwedeng makapasok ng mga nilalang.
Kumaha nila lang.
Nilalang. Basta yun. Mga bad nilalang. Ganun. Pero yun, aside from that, aside from my waistline and my fat, ito, ayan, VTubing stuff. Because previously when you met me, all I BPO and J-pop and a little cosplaying. I moved from cosplaying to being a virtual
Cosplayer. So, nagka-cosplay ka pa rin lang, literal. Pero virtual lang.
Minsan kasi I'm bored. So, at saka stress. So, naghanap ako ng other outlet.
Nang release, may vibrator ako ipapadala sa'yo, friend.
Gag! Iba yun.
That's a good release, Chuck.
Oh. Tingnan ko lang. Tingnan ko lang kung hindi ka makapag-distress nung panahon yun. Pag may nakasaksak sa'yo.
Gag!
We have on the podcast, Direct Nick. Hi, Direct!
Hey!
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Kamusta na?
Okay
Ano
naman.
eksena mo sa bahay?
Ay, congratulations, happy anniversary.
Thank you so much. Isang taon ko nang binubudol ang mga tao.
Oo nga.
Ikaw ba, Direct? Ilang taon na podcast? 2, 3 years?
Hindi ko alam, ayoko na isipin. So, hindi ako nag-celebrate kasi ayoko ma-pressure.
Bakit?
Wala
Dapat
lang.
yan.
Yung mga season ender na lang, parang gano'n.
Season ender hanggang ngayon, sa season 1 ka pa rin eh. Magdadalawang taon na tayo season 1 eh.
Naalala ko nga, para sinabi ko sa inyo minsan, sabi ko, gusto mong pahinga? Hindi na tuloy, ayun.
Tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Parang, I mean, ikaw, Direct, we're talking about growth in general.
Okay.
This is one thing na napag-usapan na natin before in comparison to a specific YouTube that we both saw before. I mean, a YouTuber that we saw before na nakita ko na may 20,000 siyang followers every month on a specific day.
Oo.
Na dapat
Ay, oo. Oo, naalala ko yan.
5,000 subscriber every month.
Consistent.
Kada payout. Pero 100,000 yung subscribers niya. Oh.
Amazing.
Ngayon yata, ayoko na magbigay ng ano. More na siya ngayon.
More on ano?
Mas malaki na, hindi na 100 yun. Ngayon.
Ikaw ba naman? 5,000 per month ka. Alam mo bang meron na mga nag-offer sa akin yan?
Talaga?
Meron. Even in Spotify,
Big time.
meron. Direct.
Talaga? Ba't sa akin wala nag-offer?
Pero kasi nga, I always say no to it because, ang galing ko mag-segue, because I want the growth to be organic.
Yes. Oo.
Kumirasan kung bakit ako host nito sa podcast na ba.
That's true.
Sabi ko nga rin, totoo yun.
Pero ikaw, how do you feel about that? Because I know that this is, I mean, let's be honest, this is not your bread and butter. Podcasting is not your bread and butter.
Oo.
So, why is it such an important thing for you to grow it organically?
For me, para alam kong totoo yung nakikinig and subscribers. Parang ganun. Parang mas proud rin na parang mas pabagalan talaga. Pero kasi hindi, compared to others, hindi ko rin siya ma-promote sa sarili kong network as myself. Kasi takatago nga di ba? So hindi ko siya ma-push na, uy, mag-subscribe ito eh. So, talagang pili lang yung mga nasasabihin. And parang ang nangyari is, parang word of mouth, di ba? Parang ganun yung push ko na lang, word of mouth. Tinatry ko, parang ikaw, napapansin mo naman, minsan pag pinatry ko i-push yung, makinig kayo. pag may guest tayo, tapos sasabihin ko, makinig kayo. Kasi minsan may guests sa podcast na hindi talaga listener, di ba?
Oo.
So yun, mas gusto ko ganun na lang ang growth. Pero yun nga, mabagal, matrabaho. Pero for me, at least parang mas true for me.
Yeah.
Parang totoong tao yung mga nakikinig ako.
Kasi like, ito I'll be honest direct even like right now, when I see the analytics ng listener at ng mga subscribers, natatawa ako, meron akong stream like at least once or twice a month from Slovenia, a country that I have no one, that I do not know anyone.
Kilala ko yan.
Sino?
So, kasi may listener tayo sa podcast, sa Paranormal, taga Slovenia.
Ay, really? Pero Tagalog kami.
Tagalog siya. Pinoy siya. Pinoy in Slovenia. Kung maalala ko, basta something Baker. Pinoy siya doon. So, ako rin, pareho tayo. Siya rin yung nakikinig. Pag tinitignan ko yung metrics, may isa akong Slovenia, sabi ko, siya to.
Talaga, nakakatuwa naman. Hello sa'yo. Ayan, kasi but I feel like in a certain way, parang since I do not know people from that kind of country, nakakatuwang tingnan na parang in this very small, very conceited and very bariotic kind of podcast that I have, alam mo, parang nakakarating ako sa iba't ibang lugar, which is somehow creepy. Kasi someone from Slovenia knows how dirty jazz is at kung gaano kung sino yung kaibigan namin lagi nag-earn na sa pantalon niya, di ba? Parang gano'n. It's just weird. JP, ikaw, you are in a very competitive corporate world. How do you consider growth though?
Growth, honestly, I have to see it in a less corporate way. So parang, you have your coworkers who think they are the stars because they get all the brownie points and they suck up to the boss and sila nakako-gold star. So what I do, honestly, I just ignore them. Parang kebs na lang kung napansin ka, kebs na lang kung maalala ka, pero at least I know I'm doing my job and I don't need the brownie point. So I just ignore it. Parang one, I don't need the praise. Another thing, parang yung sa akin lang, like even if the boss gives you a pat on the back today, tomorrow he'll forget about you. So parang it's just knowing when the situation calls for celebration and knowing when you step back and just don't let the stress affect you.
I understand that in a way that I feel na, of course, I was able to enjoy naman my corporate life. It's just that I understand you in a way that you're only as good as your last performance. That's it. Kasi like for example, ako when I was in the BPO industry, you're only as good as your last month's evaluation.
Agree.
Lalo na kung limbawa, like for a person or a life that has a lot of metrics, you're only as good as your last score. So medyo naiintindihan ko yung part na yun na parang kahit na ilang beses kang, tapos lalo pa kung overachiever kang katulad ko, na parang kailangan laging bongga dapat ang scores mo. The more that the bosses look at you and be very critical with how they look at you. Kaya after nung ilang beses kong nag-title, sabi ko, nakakapagod to. Nakakapagod yung everyday kang rarat-rat. Sabi ko, hindi, under the radar na lang ako. Chill na lang kami sa mga tipong out of top 10, nasa pa number 3 lang ako. Pero consistent number 3, gano'n. Para kasi hindi lagi namumura, pero hindi ka masyadong nakafocus sa'yo lahat, di ba?
Sige, ibabagsak ko this month.
Hindi, ganun. Diba? Kasi si Jazz back na siya sa corporate world eh. The reason why I do that is because I want my people to breathe. Gusto kong nakakahinga sila ng konti. Kasi pag halimbawa, number 1 ka, mula clients, pababa hanggang sa QA, tititigan ka. Eh, kung halimbawa number 3 ka lang, stead ka sa number 3, o iipis-ipis ka lang. Huwag ka na nun, diba? One thing that I have been thinking about is this line from Trixie Mattel's song Little Sister, and the line there that really got me is yung part na you think that you're growing but you're just tall. Jessica, what are your ideas when you heard that line? You think you're growing, but you're just tall.
Hard. Parang nasaktan ako dun Charot.
Bakit? Hindi ka naman matangkad, so, oo.
5'11 pa rin naman ako, mother. Hindi, Charot.
Anong part ng 5'11 sa'yo?
No.
First 5 ka, secondly, yung mo hindi 11. So,
Uy, wala ako noon. Charot. Kiki yan. Ano lang with that line, how I interpreted is parang you're just blinded of the idea na you're growing na you're doing well. Because you still dwell on the past, mga ganon. So you really did not grow.
Yes, exactly. Natutuwa ako dun sa kantang yun kasi it's a story of it's a story about yung dalawang magkapatid, and that the sister thinks that she's so popular and she's everything that she wants to be. However, she still lives in Milwaukee. Yung parang malaki ka sa tingin mo, pero the thing is that the world is so much bigger than what you think, and that's the reason why you're still just a dust in comparison to a lot of things.
Parang naalala ko lang sa sinabi mo, parang yung term na big fish in a little pond. So minsan kala mo, yun nga, parang kala mo laki mo na, pero kasi maliit lang yung inikutan mong pond, yung industry, di ba? So kailangan mo ma-experience yung sa labas na sa ocean ka, pero yun nga, maliit ka talaga isda.
Oo, maliit ka talaga na isda. It's really good to come and sit down and realize where or how you look at yourself. They think that they're all that. And, I mean, yeah, maybe you are. It's just that, doon sa may linya kasi doon sa kanta na, if you only lived here, have you ever really lived at all? Which is something that I'm proud to say that I have not just lived in one specific thing in my life. Hindi naman porket if you lived here, ibig sabihin Batangas City lang. No, not at all. But if you're playing on your just your strength and not learning how to do other things, then you haven't really lived at all. And the reason why I wanted Direct to be a part of this conversation is because Direct could have just focused on being a professor. But you are doing this and doing that and doing this and doing podcasts and stuff like that. Why did you think you have to have that much of output?
One is, okay, ito, hindi ko lang kung share to. Parang nakita ko to sa tatay ko na nung di ba ako nagkatrabaho, parang meron siyang mga, let's say, malalaking project. Pero nakita ko, pinapansin niya pa rin at naghahanap pa rin siyang paraan o naghahanap pa rin projects na mas maliliit. Pero in my mind, meron ka na yan Tuloy mo lang yan. Lalaki yan At buhay ka na dyan. Parang ganun. Parang ganun yung mindset ko nung, I guess, mas bata ko. Tapos na-realize ko, hindi, parang same thought na you cannot put all your eggs in one basket. Parang ganun. Pero for me, you still have to learn to prioritize kung ano yung pagtutuunan mo ng panahon. Pero yun, hindi pwedeng umaasa ka lang sa isang, hindi ko lang kung ma-understand ng mga millennials to. Pero hindi.
That's their problem, not ours.
Kailangan marami ka pa ring sources of income. For me, ako yun. Na hindi pwedeng, ito na yun. Ano na to? Kasi pag bumagsak yun, at probably may masamang mangyayari, di ba? At least ready ka, meron kang iba. So for me, kaya hindi rin ako nagstay sa Pero for me, sorry malabo sa nga, pero for me, yung podcast naman is more of, sa atin na pag-uusapan rin naman natin yan na mas masaya akong gawin kasi alam ko nakakatulong sa iba kahit di ko kilala yung mga natutulungan. Pero, di ba, mas passion project. It's a passion project. Parang bonus na lang kung kumita tayo after. Di ba? Pero sa ngayon, passion project. Pero yun, kasi long-term plan, syempre gusto ko rin naman ma-monetize in a way. Pero not to monetize from the listeners but from the community na parang okay, may ganito karaming nakikinig, may ganito karaming involved at nakikinig nga, parang gano'n. So sabihin ko, pag binarket ko siya, meron ka market, meron bibili if ever, parang gano'n.
JP, how's your growth in your career? Is this something that you are...
Nako.
Kasi I remember the last time, di ba medyo meron kang something going on and so how are you? Kasi di ba tanda, Jazz was there.
I'm good na. So you can't really compare how fast or how slow you are when it comes to growing up. I guess because I always had the feeling na I always had to catch up with my brother and my sister na older sila. I'm the youngest. So parang I don't want to say I mature faster. Maybe I process things faster. But now parang I just treat my corporate job as a 9 to 6 thing. And then after 6, I get to do my other projects on the side which give me more drive to be, sorry for the beauty pageant statement, pero to be a better person and to find myself, kumbaga. And it is helping because kagaya ng sinabi ni Direk, this is something that maybe the younger generation won't understand, but your corporate job it's not gonna give you all the happiness in the world. So you have to find happiness in other things and you have to define what makes you happy in your own pace. And it's going to be a constant process of learning to love yourself, learning to love what you do, learning to deal with other people. And it's going to happen again and again and again na you'll fall down and you have to assess, do I get up now or do I get up later? Pero if I get up later, it might be too late. So yung ganon.
Maganda yun. Alam mo kasi, because lately kasi I've been noticing nga that you've been posting more on your social media about you going out and stuff like that, which excites me because
those are all late posts. One thing about me,
pero in all fairness nga, because before you don't really post that much.
Well, I stopped for a while because the backstory behind this of and Derek also knows this. Yung nangyari with a certain who I happen to be related to na I lost my privacy.
Yeah.
So
I get that. Natatawa lang ako kasi meanwhile, here in the podcast, we always make fun of us being cancelled every 5 weeks.
I get cancelled every single day.
Welcome to the club.
I get cancelled every single day.
Oh my God, I'm afraid.
Diba? Pero ang gagawin ko talaga, photo mo, yung actual photo mo, gagawin ko thumbnail nitong episode na to.
Ilanda ko nga.
Para lang masaya.
Oo nga, tingnan ko ang reaction ng mga
Tapos itatabi ko yung ganun, yung controversial.
Oh my God.
Tapos ikaw. Tapos babalutin ko ng pink para lalong makilala ng tao. Pero hindi like when we were starting up, when I was starting with this podcast, I always knew that I wanted to veer away from that conversation. I wanted to be, in a way, non-biased. However, with this kind of, people around listening and on the social media platforms, you cannot help but talk about it. You cannot help but air your concerns. Kasi parang ang pangit din naman na mag-play safe ka na mag-play safe, but at the end of the day, you're actually suffering. Which not fun at all.
In what I learned towards the
Right.
latter part, I didn't have to, but I did. So I bit my tongue for the wrong reasons. And then later on, I realized na parang I shouldn't have done that. So I guess that was a turning point also for myself na I don't have to stop playing the game, kumbaga. I can still play the game, pero in a very subtle manner na may jab from time to time. But you're still in the game na you're playing the cards right and not revealing anything too much. Yung ganon. It's just a matter of finding the perfect punchline because, you know, like what you said, no matter what you do, no matter what industry you are in, no matter what topic you talk about, it's going to pop up. So parang why not use it to your advantage, diba?
True. Mas nakakapagod kasi how do you call it? Nakaka-drain ng energy na parang there are actually people around my life who are not just not just a supporter but a diehard. Alam mo yun? Pero parang dumating doon sa point na parang if you don't want to see my point, then I would rather say, okay, then let's just ano po tawag dito, parang let's agree to disagree na lang. But there are times that they are pushy and stuff like that. Those kind of people, I just cut out of my life. It's just like, I understand that we are disagreeing on our choices, but there's a difference between that and making fun of my choices.
I'm gonna get canceled for this, but whatever. It just shows a degree of maturity. Na parang if you're mature enough, you don't have to push your ideas to a person that doesn't agree with your ideas. The more you push it, the more, sorry, I'm gonna get canceled for this, but the more immature you are, regardless if it's politics or
anything
another
else,
topic. But
Actually, dyan papasok yung mga natutunan na rin natin sa podcast na galing ko sumigway, sabi mo, tuto ko sa'yo yan eh. So, hindi yung similar to belief systems. Iba-iba ang belief system ng tao.
Yes.
Merong Katoliko, merong Kristiyano, merong ano ba sa Muslim, merong iba-iba. Basta,
Oh my God.
may iba-iba.
makancel ka.
Okay, pero at least yun ang pinupush ko rin na parang respetuhin nyo kung ano yung paniniwala nila.
Yes.
So kung sa political beliefs, respetuhin nyo rin kung ano paniniwala nila. Hindi ka nag-agree, sige. Pero hindi mo kailangan i-push yung, hindi mo kailangan mag-proselytize at ito ang tama, itong tamang daan, ganun. Mali ang ginagawa mo. Hindi ganun eh.
Yeah.
Kailangan mo respect, diba? So similar rin sa sinasabi mo sa akin. Yun lang.
Not to mention, di ba, pati niya sa mga na-mention ko sa podcast mo na parang on the non-recorded conversation.
Lagot.
Parang,
Okay,
who decided that you're the light ikaw? So, anyone that doesn't do the things that you do, mga masasamang...
Yeah.
O yung makakancel.
Yeah, it's like going back
That's
to
bigotry. Yun lang.
yan yung mga burn the witch again eh. Parang tama na.
Oo, parang papunta na ang perfect si Kuya. Pass!
Correct.
Not shutting down my head.
Ayoko kasi ng gano'n. Alam mo yun, yung parang, again, going back to growth is being the bigger person in the conversation. Like, if you don't believe in the things that you say, that other people say, you can just say, okay, I accept that. But you're never gonna change my mind anyway, so let's do that. Parang ang nakakalungkot lang that there are, together with someone's growth, is your old self being left behind. And that, though, as much as you would want to keep that old self of yours. Kasi when I started with my life, I was thinking of, my friends and my decisions when I was in high school. It was like, my friends and my life choices are the ones that will be with me until forever. And I was like, I'm gonna screw my family over. I'm gonna choose to be with my friends because I firmly believe that friends are the family that you chose. Which is, of course, till now naman, totoo naman, in a certain level, right? However, it the same way that now, nasa na yung mga ipinagtanggol ko? Nasa na sila? Why are they not in me anymore? And then I realized, ay, tumanda na ako. I grew out of that belief system of this, that this is supposed to be right. It just is painful na yung mga tao na dati mong pinagtanggol are left behind when you decided to start growing.
Ganun talaga.
Diba? Like for example, yung bagong pasok lang. Dahil gumanda yung career niya sa corporate world, iniiwan niya na kami ni
Break ko po. Buti
Diba?
buti nandito, na-touch ako nandito kasi at least alam kong naisip pa rin tayo.
O tayo na lang dalawa direct ang titira sa doon.
Oo
Sa
nga.
original Shark one. Patay tayong iba.
Sabi kasi huwag tatawid, huwag sasama sa liwanag.
Depende kasi sa liwanag.
Bagay, B.
Ganon, sa kinang ng salapi yan eh. Which we understand naman. Naiintindihan ka naman namin, friend.
So now
Special
we are in
naman.
3D. So, ayan, parang we are in 3D. Kailangan natin ng pera. Spiritual, wala eh. Wala naman tayo kailangan nun eh.
Hoy, meron, by the way, there's this, going to the, jumping into that, what you said, Tejiko. There's this group here in Batangas, if I'm not mistaken, here in Batangas. There's this,
Tao ba sila?
Hindi, tao naman sila. Mga, alam mo yung mga weavers ng gypsy living. Naka-gypsy living sila, somewhere in Batangas. Tapos, doon sa parang ang tawag nila colony, papunta cult na wala silang ganon, wala silang perang ginagamit.
Barter.
Kung hindi,
Barter
may
system
points
kumbaga,
system
parang
sila.
ganon. System.
Hindi, point system.
Ano
Like, for
yun?
example,
Cashback rewards card.
So for example, so ako as a person, for example, ay naglaba ako, ipinaglaba ko ang bahay namin. That's 1 point. Parang any good deed that you did for that day is a point. So kahit kung ikaw yung masipag na bata, at least makakaroon ka ng 10 points. At yung 10 points na yon, pupunta siya sa parang barangay hall nila, bibigyan siya ng goodies. Like for example, bibigyan siya ng pang gulay o kaya ulam.
Ang tanong,
Ganon.
ano ang pinambili ng mga
So,
yon?
Doon din sa colony, may nagtatanim. So yun yung point system niya, nagtatanim siya. Tapos may nag-aalaga ng baboy, may butcher din sa loob ng colony. Ang saya nun, no? Parang niyayakan ako ng friend ko, sabi ko, hindi ko kaya mabuhay dyan. Wala kasing internet. May kuryente lang sila. Oh.
Uy, ang saya. Saan yun?
Umayos ka dyan.
Ko nga eh.
Itali mo to.
Nakakaloka. Wait lang, Liz, kamusta na?
Pakigalaw po yung bata.
Liz! Ayan. Speaking of growth, Liz, how's your podcast?
Girl, the shade.
Wala na.
Busy ka kasi lagi eh.
Walang oras.
Bakit? Kamusta ang career mo?
Diyos ko. Okay naman. Daming ginagawa. Kaya yun. Tapos ang dami pang activities ng mga
Tapos
bata. O wala.
Ang activities mo, wala.
Tapos
sigang moment.
Jowa. Wala. Ano na?
When was the last time?
Ganun na nga. Ganun pa rin.
When was the last time?
Ano?
If you have to think, it's been that long.
Ayun.
Good shot.
Siguro ano na ba? Mag-1 year na.
Almost.
Halo.
Mga 9 months. Ganyan.
Wait lang.
Nasaan ba itong si Liz? Putang
Dito
ina, kumakain ka pa ba?
Favorite bata.
Oh my God.
Demanding mo, friend.
Bakla eh. alam mo naman ako. Pati alam mo direct. Minsan lang sumama yan eh. So
Take advantage.
Oo nga.
Ito na, puputulin ko natin dito yung gano'n, yung episode ng growth. Kasi nandiyan na si Liz. Pag-usapan na natin yung problema niya.
Okay.
Okay, sarap naman ang
Tapos naman
live.
yung gano'n, yung
Wala naman akong problema.
tarot card mong, alam mo, para ka lagi, ang hilig mo mag-masturbate, no? Nagtatarot sa sarili mo. Well,
Tinanong ko kasi ito si Frey.
Okay. Show us the card again.
Yun.
Ito na.
Ito lang. Nandun ata sa ano.
Wait, baka mamaya mag-check muna kung wala ba akong videos na bukas. Baka
Mhm.
mga
Yung message ni Anes. Charot.
Ross. We have three pala if you're gonna include me, but I don't wanna bother. Tarot readers here or people that can read tarot are
Dito ba
nandyan
ano?
yan.
Dito ba si
Uy,
Jake?
hello.
Ano pa ba?
Hippie ba to?
Okay, Mulis.
Hello.
Is this how you... Ang taray naman, may ganon, may paranormal podcast ganon.
Wow, nakaka-touch naman.
Ay, hindi yan talaga
Yung saan
ginagamit
kasi
ko sa
bagong
labas.
malapot na kasi.
Hindi mo mga sa akin, dumi-dumi na.
Okay, so where did you start pulling? Sa the Justice?
Ay,
Okay.
Wala.
Paala?
Hindi. Oo, sa Justice. Yan yung mga nahulog lang yan eh. Hindi ko siya pinili.
Ay.
I mean, nagsha-shuffle ako, tapos nahulog siya.
Ang dami mo naman. So, yan ang
Kaya
pagkakasalansan
daming
mo.
nahulog. Oo. Pero nauna mahulog yung Justice. So, left to right. Tapos...
Okay, so we have on the first is Justice and then 2 cups, inverted, four stars, pentacles. We have an inverted Ace of Wands, inverted din a Judgment, and then I have an inverted 5 cups, 6 cups, right?
6 of Cups, reverse.
And then the upright King of Pentacles, we have inverted Moon, upright Death, and an inverted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
9 of Wands.
9 of Wands.
Congratulations.
Marunong ako magbasa kung anong klaseng amateur si magamit ng card. Charot!
Kaya nga, hindi ko na kasi alam kung ano eh.
JP,
Yeah.
ito medyo
All in a friend.
sinasabi ko.
Grabe po.
I don't use tarot cards. I have a tarot card, but I don't
Okay,
use
so
it.
what I'm getting is that choices are gonna be limited. Pero you shouldn't also hold on to the thinking na limited choices. Because the more you hold on to the fact na your choices are limited, the more stressed out you'll be. And at the same time, you're limiting yourself by thinking the choices are limited. So I think what's happening is that the anxiety of life is getting to you. Therefore, you're thinking you don't have much room to move about, to move around. So you're thinking na yung parang kabayo na naka-blinders. Ganon. You're not seeing the whole picture. That's what I'm getting. Thank you.
And thank you. Ganon. Ito naman si JP eh. Pero baka nga, I mean, I can see what that means. But ikaw, Tenshi, since you practice this as well, what's your take in here?
Contestant number 2. Pasok.
Hindi, I agree with Hindi, I agree with JP. Nag-overthink ka Anong meron? Pero meron din naman patating na changes talaga. You're considering something that's changing in your life.
Good or bad ba yung change?
Ikaw ang makakaalam.
Nasa sa'yo yan. Kasi, I mean, there are things that can be good for you kahit na mas hindi siya maganda. You know what I mean? Connect natin sa growth, diba? Because,
okay.
So, you might just be overthinking whatever the situation is, but it may or may not be good for you. Just stick to your gut pa rin. I mean, if you're fine with this change, it might be good for you. Kaya.
Nagkaroon talaga tayo, no? Nag-live reading talaga tayo. Ito talagang si Liz, no? Freeloader ko eh. In all fairness, direct ha. Ito naman tayo ko na ha.
Mga ate.
In all fairness. Yung friendship namin ni Liz is dependent on freeloading. Pero siya yung malaman sa amin. Liz, back to you. Back to you, Liz. Kamusta ka na? So, first and foremost, why did you pull up this card? I mean, why were you holding the card in the first place?
Alam mo, hindi ko alam. Kasi sobrang weird lang nung feeling ko today.
Sana gano'n. Sana nakaupo ka lang at wala kang kinukot, di ba? Para hindi...
Gumagalaw yung chair.
Minsan ka na lang pagka mapakinabangan, maingay pa yung audio mo.
Nagsha-sharpen ako ng pencils bilang may pasok ng mga Jonakis ko. Yun nga. Parang wala. Basta sobrang na-anxiety at parang alam mo yung feeling lang na like something bad's gonna happen. Ganon. Tapos, sabi ko parang, hindi, baka wala lang. So, I was trying to shake it off. Tapos, ayaw matanggal. Sabi ko, hindi parang may mangyayaring masama. Hindi ko alam kung saan related. Basta alam ko lang na may mangyayaring masama na hindi okay. Minessage ko yung boss ko, kayo, tapos sinabi ko din sa nanay ko. So, yung nanay ko medyo pernay over niya ako. Tapos, sabi niya, mag-misa daw kami yan. Tapos, basta marami na siyang analysis. So, parang hindi basta weird lang yung feeling kasi I haven't felt this way in a long time. Diba, iwas nga, promise, iwas talaga ako sa paranormal kasi tatakot nga ako, gano'n. Pero lately, parang, siguro mga kailan ba to? Last week or last week ata. Basta may mga eme-eme na naman dito sa bahay. Tapos, sabi ko, shit, ito na naman, hindi. Wala akong nakikita, wala akong naririnig, ganyan, wala. So, parang, ignore, ganyan. Tapos, hanggang sa yung kanina, sabi ko, hindi parang iba na tong nasa-feel ko Tapos yun, hinanap ko pa yung deck ko. Like, sobrang tagal ko nang hindi ginamit Tapos, yun, noong una, may 3 card lang. Tapos, parang hindi ko maintindihan. Bilang hindi ko siya memorize, may codigo pa. Tapos yun, hindi ko alam. Well, ayun, ganun pa din. Ganun pa din yung nasa-feel ko.
Natawa kasi ako sa'yo, bakla. I mean, I understand your dilemma when it comes to this change that will happen. Again, it's not kasi for anyone who doesn't really read tarot cards and see the death card. Ganun parang bore ko talaga. Kung mamatay, may masamang mangyayari. But death is actually, if it's upright, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Because I don't know how to, I have a card but I don't know how to read them. Death is not, the death card means change.
Yes, and it's,
am I correct?
Yes.
and it's also connected to Scorpio. So it's either there's a Scorpio in your life that will bring about the change, or there is something that's going to be changing or transforming your life. Congratulations! Sa next round!
Wala, baka magkakajowa na ako, bakla.
May pahingi ng card na ganyan. Magkakajowa daw.
Yes, hindi mo kailangan ganon. Hindi mo kailangan ng card to tell to know na magkakaroon ka ng jowa. All you need to do is to commit to a relationship kasi ayaw mo naman kumumit.
Ay, grabe.
Uy, game ready na ako mag-commit.
Ay,
Meron, ayaw mo
wala lang
lang.
pagko-commit.
Choosy ka. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, yung ganda ng, yung level of pagiging tigang mo, hindi na dapat choosy. Kahit sa tricycle driver, pumatol ka na.
level ng, ano ba? Kasi haba ba ng sa akin o mas mahaba yung sa kanya? Okay.
Mas mahaba yung sa'yo naman, friend. Yung sa'yo naman, tension ko yung sa'yo
Sabang
lifestyle. Yung kay Liz, dry spell lang. May pagka-witch nga kasi yan.
Sa spell niya yung sarili niya. Okay.
Tatrantaduhan tong episode na to.
Oo nga, hindi ko maintindihan paano yun.
Okay.
Teka lang, iihilang ako.
Yan, pasok mo yun. Pasok mo yun sa...
Alam ko.
Kasi nga, dahil.
Gagawin ko pang teaser yan. Ilalagay ko pang
Kasi
video
nga,
sa
try
TikTok.
Wait lang,
Kailangan.
Ako, gawin mong kanta, Sam, sa TikTok, yung ulit-ulit.
Oh.
Ay, di ba merong ganon? Parang DJ X.
Yung-
Ganon.
Ihilang ako.
I don't know how to do that, but I'm gonna find out how. Pero ito, question ko to kay Tenshiko and kay Jay. When it comes to tarot card, when did you start reading? Let's start with Tenshiko. When did you start knowing that you are going to, you know how you have the, how do you call that, capacity to read through cards?
High school. Meron kaming kapitbahay lang na nagre-read ng normal deck. So, this is without the major arcana. Minor arcana lang yung ginagamit niya. Sumasakto naman dun sa nire-read niya. So, I just studied what she was doing. And then, eventually, I moved into, yung normal Rider-Waite na card. Tarot. Yan.
Tapos, ito na, tarot.
Including arcanas, I also use oracle cards. Dolores Cannon na oracle card. Ganong drama.
So, tapos, ikaw JP, saan ka nagsimula?
Yung playing cards, yung solitaire card. So, when I was 10, parang wala magawa. Kinuha ko lang yung deck yung playing cards ng mom ko, and then kinay out ko lang, and then I started seeing things in my head. And then eventually, I guess, napansin ng lola ko. So, she told me na parang, okay, just use it to concentrate what you see since focal point siya. And then eventually, when I was in high school, parang walang naniniwala sa akin na kakabasa ako. So, bumili na lang ako ng tarot deck. So, parang just for the visual aid.
Ang gross. Sorry, kasi okay, like, I mean, I understand that there are people that, dahil kasi, pag halimbawa binabasa mo yung tao, like for example, when I read people, they ask, how did you know? Pero the reason behind it is because wala silang tangible na nakikita nila
They want
ginagawa
to see
ko.
evidence talaga. So,
meron
that's
ako.
why.
Yeah, oo. So, I understand that level, naiintindihan ko. Kaya lang, parang, ewan ko ba, parang nakakadimin sa akin.
Sorry naman, patola talaga. Patola ako eh. Patola ako.
So, I understand. Pero kasi, like, ikaw, Kenshiko, you take on clients,
I have a regular US client. Every week nagpaparead siya. Ewan ko ba sa
paano
kanya?
yung, okay lang yun, basta't gano'n, basta't kita. I mean, let's all be honest, and we're not gonna shame anyone. Well, not anyone here. Hindi kasi, no. Ako kasi, I understand yung the process of how to do it. And it's literally, physically and mentally, psychologically draining, right? Pero yung, alam mo naman yung isa nating friend na may ganun, merong pabrika yata, may whole manufacturing team sa likod niya na ganun kadami ang reading niya on a day. Parang, accurate pa ba yung reading mo? Parang hindi na, parang ganun. With that level of, and I don't want to throw shade on the people that uses this as their business. Okay, I understand what they're doing. It's just that doing it on that kind of level na hindi na mukha nang hindi ka na accurate and stuff like that puts people that actually does it in a very bad light.
It does. It's just that yun din kasi depende din siguro sa level of energy na meron sila. Na kasi for me, since nakakapagod din siya aside from the regular work that I do, so I have to minimize kasi it does need energy to read, as you said. So minimize ko na lang yung number of clients if there's any. Buti nga isa lang tong recurring, yung iba sulpot lang. So if wala, edi maganda. Baliktad. Kasi kailangan mo rin ng rest.
Kasi di ba, natatakot ako for people that does tarot reading as their job. I'm scared, and unfortunately, like for example, again, not shading, how are we to know, or how are people like Direct and Jazz, who doesn't have any connection to the paranormal and to the psychic realm, how are they to know if you're true or not? Like, there's hundreds of people doing that in front of Quiapo Church.
And there's also people on FB.
I mean,
and people online.
Yes, in TikTok. Oh my God. Nasa-stress ako sa TikTok. Pag swipe up mo, bigla may hawak-hawak silang card. If you saw this video, this reading is for you. No! Diba? But ito, question, JP.
Yes.
JP, if you are, because you do know how to do this, but you don't do this for anything, for money. You don't do this professionally. You just know how to do it, right? How are you going to now parang warn the people what are they supposed to look at if they're going to choose a tarot card reader?
Ako, I don't wanna get into the whole issue upon it because number one, parang I was taught a long time before na you shouldn't make money out of the spiritual and out of the paranormal. If ever you do so, parang you have to tread carefully because it entails a lot of karma, and as adults, parang when it is right to say something and when it's not okay to say something. So yun, parang I don't want to get into the drama. I just warn people na, let's say, ask me. Only if a person would ask me, only if a person like Derek and Jazz would ask me, is this guy okay? That's when I give my opinion. Pero I won't say it outright na don't go to this person because ganyan. Because parang you're preempting it
Yes.
And ako pa yung masisiraan kasi what if they like the reading and mali yung nasabi ko sa kanila. Yung ganon. So parang until somebody has an experience or somebody asks me na black and white what I think, doon ko lang sasabihin. Yun lang. And I thank you.
Which is always fair. Alam naman tayo, di ba? Lagi kong sinasabi yan. If it wasn't asked,
Yes.
don't answer. Ikaw, Tenchiko, ano yung mga red alerts mo, mga red flags mo when it comes to if this person is, if, for example, just approaches you and say, uy, sino kaya dito ang pwede kong pagkatiwalaan when it comes to tarot reading?
Aside from me.
Ano yung mga red flags?
Sarap.
Aside from
I go by word of mouth kasi. I don't advertise. Cause ako yung mismo yung taong I have trust issues. Alam mo yan. So, if you're going to trust someone to read for you, you have to do your research. Yes. You have to know if others had a successful reading to this person. And you also have to be able to gauge if they're on social media, I guess, or if they have a YouTube account. Can you really ano nga yung word mo? Relate to the reading. Kasi ang problema din kasi sa reading, sa tarot reading first person, like let's say this is for Scorpio, ganyan. If it resonates for you, good. If it doesn't, then that's fine. Kasi ganun yun eh. Not a reading for a Scorpio in general may not resonate to every Scorpio in the room, every person watching it. Kasi ganun yun. It's if you do want a personal reading, sure, that's fine. You can contact the reader. Pero yun nga, if you wanna know if they're legit or not, ask a friend. If they have...
Natawa ko dun sa sinabi mo kanina, Tenchiko, about if they have a YouTube channel. And I kinda, how do you call this? And I don't, again, not throwing any shade on anyone. Pero nado-double whammy tayo nung mga readers na yun.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi like for example ako So for example, si JP is a tarot reader.
Mm-hmm.
I pay JP para
Okay.
magpa-read, right? Tapos i-upload mo sa YouTube channel. Tapos i-add, lalagyan din na ng advertisement. Aba, teka lang.
Ayun, just to build on that
Wait,
another reason why I don't trust people on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram who post their readings.
Okay.
It's kasi parang readings, they're a personal thing between the reader and the person na you're reading for. So why do you have to post it on social media?
Marketing.
Yung thinking ko talaga, Tenshi, it's
okay.
just to get more followers.
Yes, because that's what it
followers,
is. It's
diba?
for marketing. We can't do anything about it. That's how YouTube and social media work. I am a marketing person. So, yeah. She knows.
So tayong tatlo oldies, sila newbies.
I don't wanna say that.
Joke
Pero, ganun talaga. Kasi, meron din mga tao na, yun yung gusto nilang pagkakitaan. You can't do anything about it. I do it as a side gig, pero depende din. If I know for myself na you don't need a reading, you just need advice, bitch. That's what I tell them. You don't need a reading. I will just counsel you on this psychologically. Kumalma ka, yun lang. Mga ganon. Kasi,
pag kailangan kainuman, tawagan mo ako, ganun. Refer a
I'll let you talk to Jazz. Tapos gwapo, go.
Ayun lang.
Ibang reading ang mangyayari, Day. May palm na gagamitin.
Palm reading.
My God, and my God.
But have you, ikaw direct, how many tarot readers have you already spoken to? Other than the one in the group right now?
Actually, may ilan, pero hindi, as a guest hindi. Merong mga nakausap lang sa chat, ganon. Pero as a guest, oo. Wala.
Ikaw, Liz, meron ka na, di ba? As a guest, meron.
Oo. Ayun. No? Meron naman. Pero parang, ayoko na magsalita.
Ikat daw yun.
Ikaw, Liz, bakit ikaw, Liz, na how did you start with tarot reading?
Wala. Dati ko pa gusto.
Tapos minalas siya.
Tapos bumili ako ng deck. Tapos tinry ko.
Totoo.
Tinry.
Totoo.
Tapos, oo. Tapos pangit yung reading. Tapos malala yung nangyari.
Hindi.
Tapos,
May mga ka-friends mo na naman dyan.
wait lang ha. Naririnig niyo ba yun? Oo eh.
Huwag ka magbubukas sa camera, bakla. So, kaya mo na yan.
Ito nga eh. Gusto mo nga.
Ang daming guest.
Okay.
Open cam daw.
Okay
Open
na po
cam.
kami.
May
Alam
makakasama
mo,
kang ano eh.
araw-araw ako nandito sa mesa. Walang ganito. Ngayon, biglang
Huwag ka magbubukas ng
Oo
camera
nga
kung saan
eh.
kita magbubukas.
sandali
Pero mo na bakit ko
Ay!
Tingnan mo
Para daw kasi
Dito ako
parang
nakaupo.
Wala makita.
Ayan ang
Naka-block ang Zoom window ko. Not today.
Nakapikit lahat, Liz.
Not
Wala
today.
kang magawa. Nakapikit sila lahat.
Sandali.
Not today.
Diba?
Ganon.
Bakit ko talaga. Sinabi ko sa'yo, huwag ka magbubukas
Ay,
ng camera.
oo,
Sakit ang
ganon.
dibdib ko.
Wala po sa usapan natin to.
Akala ko growth, Sam. Ano nangyari?
Wala, hindi pa rin lumalaki sa growth.
Wala po
Hindi
sa
pa lumalaki.
kontrata ko to. Char.
Hindi pa na.
Di ba sabi ko, growth is a tree. Bow.
Bakit yung ulo ko?
Pinag-inaw mo. Hindi ka na akong alat atakihin doon, Liz. Nagsariling salat sa susutuloy ako today. Sabi mo, tasakit.
Sabi ng mga kaibigan mo dyan, uy, kausap niya na naman sila. Paramdam tayo.
Naman yung boses ko. Hindi pa klaro naman tarati ka dun sa raso. Ganun. Telepono ni Madam.
Baka gusto
Oo
magpag-guest. I-guest mo nga, mother.
Okay na po kami.
Hindi na.
Please, going back to your reading
Go.
lang. Parang, honestly, from the time ng February to now, I realized na, change and transitions.
Ang dami.
Kahit ayaw mo
Oo,
mangyari.
ang dami.
Mangyayari pa. And kailangan niya mangyari. So, parang, hayaan mo lang. Regardless kung magiging masama yan for you or magiging mabuti yan for you, it's supposed to happen at that time. So, hayaan mo lang. Yung gawin mo lang, wag mong labanan. Just let it happen. Just let whatever needs to happen,
True.
happen. Yun lang.
Everything happens for a reason.
In all fairness, connected pa rin yan sa topic natin for today's video, which is growth. If you do not allow this thing that will change in your life to happen, you will not learn
Agree.
to
Grow
Oo
with
nga.
shit.
Baka mamaya ganun. May... saka talaga na dibdib ko.
Baka sa akin yan. Hindi, baka sa akin yan. Kasi
Nagpaturok ka?
napadami kape ko eh.
Baka malamang.
Direct nakalimutan mo empathy yan.
Oo nga eh. Pasensya na.
Hindi, whatever happens, and even if, and this is something that a lot of
Yeah.
people are scared of, right? Like change, may it be good or bad,
True.
is always good. For me, at least, that's what my belief is. That regardless kung gaano ka sakit ang ma-experience mo, regardless of what will happen, you will eventually grow from it, and that's
Yeah.
always a good thing. Sabi nga ni Martha Stewart, it's a good thing. Ganyan. Diba? So, whatever that is, Liz, it will be good eventually, if you know what, if you understand my drift. So, let it happen. Baka mamaya ganun, kung sudden change of trabaho or sudden change of sexuality.
What?
Malay mo maging lesbian ka. May friend kaya akong ganun. Pagka ang hilig-hilig niya sa ngenge for the longest
Oo nga.
time, tapos biglang naging lesbian. Okay, if you say so. Naging lesbian siya ngayon. Doon siya naging masaya. Sa wakas may sumeryoso sa kanya kasi nga
Ano
nakakaluwag-luwag na siya. So, kasi dalawa na yung panganay niya, kababae niyang tao. Dalawa yung panganay niya sa ibang lalaki. So, napakita siya sa ayaw niya na daw. Ang hilig-hilig niya talaga niya ng panahon niya. Tapos biglang, nung nagkita ulit kami, nga pala yung lesbian lover ko. Tara! So, sudden change and it made her grow to a better person. In all fairness. So, baka ganun na mangyari sa'yo, Lynn. Not the lesbian thing, but
Yeah. Just to clarify.
just to clarify.
Sabi ko pala eh.
Diba? It may be something that you are not expecting, but eventually it's gonna be good for you. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate number 5.
Ayan.
Nanati.
Kasi, going back tayo sa bakit ka nagtataro. Bakit ka ano yun, may napanood ka ba na, ay, ang ganda na ganyan, kaya ka nagtaro? Ano?
How you started?
Before.
Today or before? Wala lang. Wala lang. Paano ba? Wala lang. Naisip ko lang bigla na parang baka yun yung way para ma-translate ko kung ano yung na-feel ko pag kinukutuban ako.
Have you had any experience of having someone read for you? Properly, you mean? I mean? And has it
Well,
come
hindi ko
true?
alam kung properly yun. Pero meron naman.
Okay.
Oo. Pero like years ago, patay na siya. Parang ano siya, matanda na ano. Pinigay ko yung number nun sa direct kids naman ang Linda.
Kinontak ko.
Mali yung
Ay,
pinagbigyan mo bin ng contact. Dapat kami dalawa ni JP.
Patay na.
Kinontak namin sa afterlife sana.
Whether
Nagkatotoo. Pati yung reading niya sa mom ko. Basta dinadayo.
Dinadayo daw siya, nawawala ka bakla. Oo, ikaw.
Ay, oo. Oh?
Palakad-lakad ka na naman sa loob ng bahay mo malamang.
interfere.
Hindi.
Anyway.
May nag-iingat. Oo nga.
I-guess nyo na kasi. For the next episode po, tatawid po tayo sa kabilang
Lagi na
dimension.
lang silang
Ayoko. Pass muna ako dyan.
Pwede
Pagkatapos ako
on another night. On another night.
Pagkatapos ako atakihin ni Direk, di wag muna. Wag muna yan.
Pasensya.
Sa ulo.
Nahirinan ako. Parang feeling ko nahirapan ako lumot.
Sa may solar plexus ba? Sa may solar plexus?
Hi.
Oo.
Hindi, okay lang. Wala.
Sorry,
Minsan lang yun ang mangyari, kaya okay lang yun.
Sorry.
Hindi naman. Kasalanan ko din naman kasi hindi naman ako nag-protection today. So, kasi nga, dapat chikahan lang tayo. Kaya lang, syempre si Liz, ayan, isa na naman si Liz.
Oo nga.
So,
Fair
Oo nga.
isa ka na lang sumama sa usapan dito, nadadamay pa tuloy ako.
O
Hindi,
nga,
okay lang,
nagbukas
wala
pa
namang
lang ang
problema.
camera.
Diyos ko. Titiisin ko lang, ikaw pa ba naman kaibigan kita? Pero ako naman hindi mo ako kaibigan kasi hindi mo nga ako matagpo nung nasa Manila ako, di ba?
Shot fire.
Oh!
Ayan na po.
Hoy!
Mother,
Yan na
parang
po,
nawawala
mga
yung...
kaibigan.
Bakla hindi, ikaw
Charot.
talaga, nawawala ka, period.
Ay, iba yon friend.
Baka mamaya yakagin kita kung saan, bigla ka na naman kung saan makarating. Pero si Liz, 2 buwan na yung pa-heads up ko, punta ako ng ganitong araw.
Paano naman?
Oo, naiintindihan kita, kaibigan kita. Friend. Willing naman ako mag-siya. Ganun ang friend, bakla. Okay lang, tanggap
True
ko.
friend naman,
Pero
true
pag may inuman at hindi akong kasama, malamang pumunta ka.
Uy, sama. Charot.
Huwag ka na just.
6 years na siya, mother. 6 years na siyang
Baka ano
behave.
tawag dito? Baka maunahan mo pa si Liz. Maawa ka na kay Liz kasi si Liz ganun. Nahihiya ang Sahara Desert sa kanya ngayon.
Hindi, feeling ko magkakajowa na.
Yay.
Sabi ko, magkakajowa ko nga. So that means it could be a bad thing. Kasi
Okay.
Tama ka doon.
with your history of dating, it's gonna be a bad thing.
Uy, sa Liz, alalahanin mo yung sinabi ni Gray sa'yo na magkakaanak ka pa ng isa.
Hindi totoo yun.
Hindi magkakatotoo yun, lalo na dahil nga walang jowa. Wala namang similya ang daliri.
Ay, eto, alam mo, may isa pa nagsabi nun Sabi, Direk, ayoko mag-pry. Pero nung pinapakinggan ko yung episode, bigla may pumasok lang. So sabi niya, tanong lang kita, Direk, ilan na ba anak? Sabi ko, ayoko sabihin, syempre, privacy niya. I understand. Pero parang 3 ang anak niya sabi niya.
Actually, sinabi rin pala sa akin ni Miss May, magkakaanak pa akong isa pa. Babae daw.
Kung alam mo na yan.
Yun. So, alam mo na.
Well, buka-buka pag may tayo.
3 na nagsabi.
So, palayasin na ako nanay ko.
Sus ko, sasabi lang niya yun, wala din naman magagawa ang nanay mo nung tatanggapin ka nun. Ikaw naman. Love ka ng nanay mo, ikaw lang naman ang pasaway talaga.
Magastos, ayoko na.
Mayaman ka naman, okay lang yun. Kaya ka nga trabaho ngayon, di ba? Ito na lang. So, kay JP. JP,
Okay.
when you started reading tarot cards, merong bang parang kasi 'di ba sa mga mainstream media kind of people that does tarot cards, may mga ritual kang ginawa kasi 'di ba minsan kailangan galing sa kamay ng patay. How is that related to tarot reading? But
Ako wala. Like, you just get cards and alam mo, honestly, kahit feeling ko yung Sakura cards, yung sa anime, parang you can use it din eh. Kasi it's just a focal point. just for you to
Card captor?
concentrate on something.
Yeah.
Oo, feeling ko.
Kasi
Parang
the idea
isa yun.
the same din naman.
It's just for you to focus on something and then visual aid lang siya sa taong na nahirapan maniwala na may nakikita ka. Yun lang naman. Alam mo, exage na yung kailangan galing sa kamay ng patay, kailangan ganitong araw yung magbasa, kailangan usukan, kailangan iiwan sa ilan ng buwan. Parang, guys, over na masyado yan.
Bakit nga? Where did that came from? I mean, ikaw, JP, kasi nagaganon kayo, nag-aaral ka ng mga theories tungkol dito eh.
Maybe kasi parang, alam mo, yung makakancel ako dito pero baka dahil sa mga nadala na mga Espanyol dito na, you know, parang holy day and holy hour and mga superstition about yung mga relics ng saints. I mean, I don't know. For me, alam mo to, Sam, parang every day is paranormal world. So, I don't know where it came from. I laugh at it honestly kasi parang exage naman kayo. Mamamatay kayo pag hindi gawin ko. I know it's not. It's just, for me, it's just normal. Maybe for other people, they need all the theatrics of it. Maybe. But for me, parang, sige, umupo ka dyan, bigyan mo lang ako ng kape, basahin kita. Yun lang yun.
Ikaw, Tenshi, how do you take this? Like the mainstream media kind of tarot readers. Unfortunately, we've seen Madame Auring and the others do it.
Not too bad.
Rough.
Madame Auring and the other tarot readers. Of course, like we mentioned earlier, to each their own, diba? If it works for them, let them have their whatever it is. Kasi yung basis ko ng mga bagay-bagay is not local. The cards are pinauusukan to cleanse. Like technically, how you cleanse yourself, your house. Kasi the cards are passed from hands to hands to hands with other people's hands. Their energy might be on it. So why you cleanse? Like why you cleanse anything or any place. That's the only thing that I would do. I don't charge my cards. Cleanse lang. Kasi before and after para lang maklear yung energy. Parang ganun. Other than that, nothing too special. As far as mainstream media na pag nagtataro cards, natatawa nga ako. Di ba may mga movie na ganyan na, ay, death card. Di ba yung ay, mamamatay. Shoota kayo. Hindi ganun yun. Tapos may devil card. Hindi po yung ang ibig sabihin ng devil card. It means addiction to something. Sobrang ganito mo. Obsessed ka na sa ganito. Ganyan. Ganun po yun.
Hindi kasi, kasi di ba may mga ginagawa ito ang death card.
Nakakaloka sila.
Oo. But in a way, I understand why you smoke it out.
Yeah.
Because
Energy.
The card itself kasi is a medium,
A tool, yes. For
the for the spirit realm to help you out and stuff like that. And it does need cleansing. However, like kasi si JP kasi ang ginagamit, and I guess I understand where JP is standing as well, because he actually doesn't really need a card.
Yeah.
He just uses it para may visual aid
that's
lang.
what you call intuitive reading, and that's also one way of doing it. It's actually kind of the same as what I do, na alam mo yung meaning ng card. It's similar. There's no problem with that, and that's awesome. And you're awesome.
And that's hindi kasi like hindi kasi ako like
and I don't say that to just anybody. So yeah.
Ako kasi like I make fun of the card not because of the people. But it's just that for me kasi ever since kahit dun sa mga may mga ano ba yun yung JP help me yung nagko-cross na bar,
dowsing rod mo, di ba?
Dowsing rod, ano pa ba yung EMF meter. The reason why I don't how do you call that, I make fun of it is because parang bakit nyo kailangan ng ganyan if you have an ability to see and an ability to communicate, then you don't need those things.
It's for the non-believers and the non-practitioners and people who have no ability. It's the psychic or Claire's way of showing, we have evidence, because people want evidence, physical evidence. That's the problem.
Kaya din si JP, kinailangan ni JP na mag-card.
Yes.
Kasi may mga tao
para
na hindi
itampal.
naniniwala.
Ito kasi yun bakla.
Pero JP, ikaw, when you were a part of this group before, we're not gonna mention their names. Binigyan ka ba nila ng card na ng gano'n, ng rod?
May rod talaga ako dati kasi yun yung ginagamit namin sa bundok before para makahanap ng tubig and gumagana naman siya.
Yeah, well, that I understand kasi
Mahirap naman gamitin yung mata mo para humanap ng tubig, diba? Parang nasa na yung tubig dito. Yun nga. Hello?
I understand pa that part because yes, it is,
May scientific talaga siya.
May scientific reason siya. Actually.
Pero yung sa TV show na I was on, they tried to give me rods and then pinoprompt ako ng producer as in, nakikita ko siya sa likod ng camera. Parang, yung nagsisenya siya na pa-X ko daw. Parang, of course not. I'm not gonna do that. Wala naman dito eh. Ganon. So yeah, that's how you get your scenes cut when you want to
That's true.
be true to yourself, but the producer at the back of the camera is telling you something para may entertainment factor. That's how I got my scenes cut.
Nako, alam ko network na yan. Sarap.
Both networks
Kaya wag natin
both
yung huli natin,
networks.
Itago natin siya.
yung huli nating episode tungkol sa paranormal kalahati tinanggal ko kasi talagang pinagtitira natin yung network na yun. Kaya kumalma tayo ngayon this time.
Okay.
Wag muna natin silang tirahin.
Both networks ako ha. Both
Lahatin
networks.
na natin.
Ay, okay. Bakit? So what excuse on TV5? Gano'n.
Wala pa TV5 nun.
Ay!
ABC pa lang siya nun. Charot.
Anong episode yung JP yung may sinabi ka?
Yung
tas-
Kalbo. Yun yung si Kalbo.
yung
And then
episode
yung
ni Aling
isa
Jo.
naman is yung sa other network na yung pinatour ako ng I never really told this story but pinatour ako ng building and then sinabi lang nila parang ano yung nandyan yung parang gusto nilang theatric so pagalitan mo daw yung kaluluwa ganyan parang of course I'm not gonna do that because at the end of the day it will follow me home so I'm not gonna do that.
Why would they do that? Anyway, I get that. Unfortunately it happened. But I actually want to go and I don't know, direct let's schedule this. Now literally we need to schedule this. I want to go dun sa ganun, sa what this place again? Let's
Baguio?
be realistic. Hirap na nga ako pumunta ng Maynila, pupunta pa ako ng Baguio. I mean, come on. You have to be realistic. Yung sa ganun, sa...
Intramuros.
Not Intramuros. A lot of you guys have already gone through that there. Yung Philippine Post Office. Yung first build.
Post Office building sa Manila.
Yes.
Ha?
Meron.
Yeah.
Tsaka sa
Talaga? Sige, schedule natin. Tapos sa labas lang ako.
Tama ka na.
Kayo papasok. Lagyan ko kayong camera sa sa chest. Kayo, mapapaalis nyo pag uwi nyo. Ako hindi ko mapapalis, hindi ko naman makikita, di ba?
Hindi naman kami confrontational ni Sam eh. Sasabihin namin meron dyan, huwag kang pumunta dyan.
Content lang
Yun
direct.
lang.
Alam mo, kailangan lang natin nun. Hindi mo kailangan ng video. Kailangan natin ng voice lang. Not unless
Tapos
kami...
may maririnig kayo.
Voice lang. Sige.
Ay,
Hindi.
Walang
yung dalawang yan.
Walang titi sa gano'n sa post office. So, hindi mo pwede niya tayo. Yan, nagtatrabaho na ulit. Kaya ganyan na ulit.
Malay mo, nandun yung one and only nila.
Ang dami pa kasi ang tanda ko kasi naging garrison yun ng Japan eh. So, that would have a lot of wounds. I would love that.
Game.
O ano, kaya natin schedule?
Game.
Kaya nga
Pero kailangan may video. Kailan ka pupunta?
Saturday, Sunday ako libre
Saturday,
mo.
Sunday ka.
Ito, hindi ko
Punta
cut
ka
mo
na,
to.
paano naman tayo makakapasok?
Balak Sunday. Balak ko. I-joint natin. I-joint episode natin.
Pag gano'n natin,
Part 1 sa ko, tapos part 2 sa'yo. Part 1
di
sa'yo,
ba,
tapos part 2 sa akin.
From
Pwede
November 1 episode mo. Tangina. Kailan naman
Gawin
Wala
natin
akong
October.
November.
Sa nyo.
Nakapahinga ako nun.
Hindi, just dapat weekdays. Kasi kamusta ka naman nito? Linggo, papapasukin kaya tayo sa post office ng linggo. Tatampalin kita bakla.
O sige, just let me know. Maglilive ako para sa inyo. Tara. Kailangan
Let's
ko.
do it like on a Friday.
Weekday. Oo, para walang tao. Pwede. Wag lang pahapon kasi traffic na ngayon. Grabe na traffic ngayon. So pag Friday na uwian ako, grabe yan. So dapat kung Friday tayo umaga, tapos na tayo by 3, gano'n. Para lafang na.
Schedule natin yan direct. Para at least ganun, para at least medyo masaya-saya ang buhay.
I don't
Then,
go
Chika, kaya
out. I'm not
hindi mo
back.
kataasahan doon sa party. Baka pa may magkatakuan, nagrapan ka. Hindi, okay na naman. kahit na ganun, basta alam mo, parang I just really want something really special for October.
Gusto ko,
Yeah.
Ganun.
mother, ilalabas ko lang yung vertigo
It's our month. Tang ina mo, hayop ka. Hindi, okay lang naman. Basta I'm thinking out loud. But October, I'll be there. At least 2 days.
Okay, Gora.
Isang weekend para kung hindi man tayo makapunta ng ano man, makapaglakad kami ni JP somewhere in Diliman.
Boring na yung Diliman.
Diliman
Please,
ba?
lahat ng moto
Ay, syempre yung isa nating kaibigan, hindi, di ba? Yung nadyo dyan nga pero nakamute lang forever.
Huwag nyo nang ano
Dito,
baka magbukas ang
oo.
camera, okay na naman ako.
Okay na tayo, friends. Okay na. Sumakit yung ulo ko eh.
Oo, masasakit din ang ulo mo pag halimbawa. Lalo na pag nakita mo ang buong kabahayan ni... Kaya wag mong i-friend si Liz. Wag mong i-friend.
Okay. Parang hindi ako pwede imunta doon. Kasi parang,
Lalo dyan sa bahay. Ay, hindi pala. Teka lang. Ay, hindi na. Pero taga Quezon City din lang yan. Yung dalawang yan, si JP at si Liz. Taga Quezon City yan. Pero yung mga pangmayaman na...
okay.
Squatter ako sa mayamang bahay.
Yung mga kulay bukang-dugo.
Kaya po mga gano'n.
Yung mga...
Bughaw.
Mga 9 degree distance from the Queen of London.
White remove, gano'n.
Adugo ni si Prince William, ganyan.
Oh my God.
Uy, wala akong dugong puti. Ayoko ng dugong puti. Yeah.
Wow! Baka iyak ka naman. Iyak naman talaga ako.
Oo.
Aray po.
First lang sila, kadili.
Aray po.
Oy, may halo din dyan sa techi ko. May foreign blood din yan, katulad nyo. Ikaw, si JP, ikaw sa
Mga
palibhasa
halo na
kasi yung sa'yo, yung dugo mo kulay dilaw.
Oo nga.
Dilaw.
Chinese.
Okay.
Diba?
Baka naman meron tayo sa mga Chinese na ano. Charot.
Nag-hunting agad.
Hayop ka dyan.
Ako pagkain mo.
Yun nga, yung pwedeng kainin.
Ba naman?
Hindi naman yun, huwag ko lang lulununin. Masakit madugo. Bakit papunta ng babuyan na naman yung usapan natin, friend?
Si Just kasi.
Oo nga, ano nangyari sa growth mo? Na-started yung growth?
Growth din naman yun, lumalaki yun eh. Ano ka ba?
May
Meron
trend.
nga, di ba tayo may mga growers?
Oo, may mga growers, may mga showers. Oh.
Yes.
Ikaw, Liz, what do you want?
Grow or show?
Tang ina, linis talaga na kaibigan natin.
Ano? What do I want, son?
yung tipong tatanungin mo, bakit nandito ka?
Siyempre. Alam mo sa ngayon, di na choosy eh.
Ano kasi madaming tricycle driver dyan sa labas nyo. Uy, tumatol ka na kahit sa taxi driver. Ano ka ba? Dimetro ko. Sipil mo, Dimetro yun. Makamamay ang ganun mo, ang forever mo. Ito talaga. Alam mo naman, ang basta driver. Sweet lover. Oh.
Lord of mercy.
Well, experience ko na yun. Diba? Hello? Ako pa ba?
Ay, tayo yun.
Anyways, hindi, gano'n na lang. Sige na. I-wrap up na natin to dahil alas 11 na. At may mga pasok pa yung mga yan bukas. So, ito na lang. Si Direk na lang ang pagpa-plugin ko. Direk, mag-plug ka na. Hindi na, yung last time minadali kita, this time, take all the time that you need. Alam mo ba kung bakit ko direct nasabi? Naalala? Kasi yung episode mo, i-upload ko sa yung first episode mo sa akin ay darating sa kailan ba to?
Hindi ba lumabas yun? Hindi ko
Hindi
napansin.
nakalabas na siya sa Spotify.
Oh.
Lalabas
Sa YouTube.
sa YouTube ko October 15.
Okay.
Oo, kasi nire-edit ko siya para sa YouTube. Nilagyan ko ng video cards. So, yun, lalabas siya. Sabi ko, ay nga pala, minadali ko nga pa si Direk ng panahon yun, no? Kasi mapuputol na, kasi wala pa akong gano'n nun. License.
Oo. Oo nga pala. Ayun. Sorry. Pwede mo itag, pwede ka mag-tag.
Ko din
Actually,
syempre yung tinag ko yung episode ko.
Oo. So may tag. Sige, anyway. Ano ba? Hindi ako marunong ayun, makinig kayo. Kung mahilig kayo sa mga nakakatakot na kwento at matututo kayo, mas mawawala takot nyo, pakinggan nyo si Sam. Marami siyang episode doon. At si Liz, andun rin. Actually, sorry bigla lumiko ako. Kanina nga, nung may nin-edit ako, so nilalagay ko sa show notes, ito yung mga past episode nila. Si Liz, ang daming, ang dami palang episode ni Liz. Mga kamag-anak mo, mga may iba-ibang parts. Pero yun, episode 3 ni JP, kung gusto nyo mapakinggan yung mga kwento nila na nakakatakot, na na-experience nila, punta kayo sa Paranormal Podcast.
Ayan.
So, meron sa YouTube, meron sa Spotify. Ayun.
Again, thank you so much, Direk, for joining in my anniversary episode. Liz, isang taon na ako. Ikaw ba?
Wag na.
Don't forget to follow us at Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And please be sure to rate us so we can continue to grow. A Cup of Coffee Podcast is available in Instagram at ACupofCoffee_PH and on TikTok at ACupofCoffee_Sam. A Cup of Coffee Podcast is created by Mama Sam Media.